All right, so I didn't know what to talk about on my channel this week. How about we take a peek into my TDAmeritrade account and look at all my current stock holdings. I'll probably be doing an update maybe once every quarter on my stock holdings, any purchases or sales, so you can track my performance over time. I'm also gonna break down the reasons why I bought each one of the stocks in my portfolio right now, and stick around to the end of this video. I'll even share my goals for the account this year. Let's do this. Before we dive into my brokerage account, I should say this is clearly not financial advice. I am not an expert stock picker at all. I'm just learning about this stuff myself, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Also, I don't do anything fancy in my account. I don't use margin. I don't use puts or calls. I buy these stocks with cash and then I just hold on to them. Also, I think I created this account in early 2020, so it's not like I have a decade of experience with this stuff. Let's just dive in and take a look. So I don't know the best way to do this. So here is my brokerage account right here. We are logged into TDAmeritrade, as you can see. And currently I am only holding 5 total stocks. As you can see, we'll break them down from top to bottom, and I'll just give you my my personal thoughts on them. So Mo, the first one, I've got 303 shares of this, and my average buy price, $41.72. Current price of the stock is $51.74 for a 24% gain. I purchased my first little bit of this stock, and I should give you a little background. In case you don't know, MO is Altria, so that's a Marlboro cigarette maker in the United States. So the thing that's so appealing about this is, I think it's, don't quote me on this exactly, but every quarter you get a 90-cent per share payout from these guys, which is pretty amazing. I think when I locked it in, it's something around 7.5% annual dividend, which is pretty incredible. And from a dividend perspective, obviously this is what you would call, I guess, a dividend aristocrat. I personally wish I would have bought more of this. You know, we'll see where it goes in the future, but even though it's smoking, I don't smoke personally. I do think that the industry is going to be around a while. You know, you're looking at stocks that are supposed to be good for inflationary environments. This is supposed to be one that you want to look at. MOS, this is Mosaic. I've got 100 shares of that, bought it at $17.43. Now it's at $45. So I've made a 158% gain on this one. It also has a little bit of a dividend. You'll notice that most of the stocks that I have in here do have dividends. I just like getting those little payments every quarter from a wealth strategy. I think that's just a cool thing. They are a fertilizer company. The interesting thing is I actually bought this the week before the economic downturn in 2020, the flash crash, I think they called it. So I bought it, and I think like within 4 days, it went down to something like $13 or $14. I wish I would have bought a lot more of it at that time, but I didn't. But thankfully I did hold on to it. It's been a nice one for me. I may sell off a little bit of this. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. TARA, got 500 shares of that. Average buy price $34, and it's sitting at $28.38 right now. This is the one that I actually just purchased a little bit more of a few days ago. The markets are closed today, but this is now they're known as Paramount, formerly known as Viacom CBS. The thing that I like about them is that they're getting into streaming. You know, they are kind of this late to the party, some people think, compared to Disney and Netflix, obviously. But their streaming service is what interests me the most from a growth perspective. And then, of course, they've got ownership over Nickelodeon, CBS, you know, live sports, all sorts of things like that. So they do bring in a lot of cash. This is one of those stocks that a lot of people disagree on. Obviously, I'm down 16% on it currently. Started buying it around $41, I want to say, and it's kind of had a wild ride the last year or so. I think it was at $100 at one time, but that is the one that I've been buying most recently. Curate Retail, kind of gotten fleeced on this one, just crushed. 600 shares of this, down 43%. Haven't bought it for a long time. No dividend. Don't plan on buying anymore. Just basically gonna hold on to it, and we'll see what happens. But you can see this is basically the worst performer in my portfolio. I think they trade at something ridiculous like 2.5 times earnings right now, but they've had a lot of bad stuff happen to them. I think they had a fire at one of their distribution centers last quarter. It's just kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I'm just gonna grin and bear it and hold on to it for now. Not planning to make any changes. My spec bet in biotech, don't know much about it. TGTX. I bought some of them at 14 after they went down a lot, and then they went down, I think, to like $8 for a little while. They're back at 10, but I don't own too much of that. Don't plan to really add too much to that either. But that is the play that I'm looking at currently. So yeah, just a little background about my philosophy. I do like the idea of dividend stocks. I like getting paid on a quarterly basis. I am a big believer in cash flow equaling freedom rather than cash. And the problem is when you get a high flyer stock, like a Facebook say that has no dividend, the only way to really get money out of it is to sell it, and then you get taxed, and then you got to go and find something else to buy. So I really like focusing on stuff. Again, I'm just learning, but I really love focusing on stuff that is going to pay me a dividend quarterly, and then hopefully I can grow it over time. Do subscribe. Like I said, I'm definitely not like a stock guy, but I'm just trying to learn more about it. Going through the process has certainly helped me with my emotions, I would say, getting into stocks a little bit, and just especially going through like Mosaic, getting hit right away. I think almost every single one of my stocks has been down before it's gone up that I've literally ever purchased. So it has given me some discipline. I always make sure to stage buy too, which basically just means I buy a little, then I buy a little more a few weeks later, or a few days later, whatever that may be, just to kind of protect myself. And again, there's just so many times I buy and then the stock, it's not like I'm hitting the bottom by any means when I make a purchase, and I can kind of lower the average price of my purchases. I do follow a stock picker. His name's Bill Spatrino. He runs the Dividend Machine newsletters. I subscribe to that. So that's kind of where I get a lot of these picks from. His are, again, also focused on dividends and dividend paying stocks. So that's why you see that here. So is there going to be a market collapse this year? I have no idea, but it's safe to say that I don't think it's going to be a boring ride in 2022 by any means. I should also say too, I'll just comment real quick. Last year I did own Pinterest. I ended up selling everything that I had in there. So you can see I'm actually, with my current holdings, pretty much even for my investment. So my top investment, Altria, has gone up $3,035, and then Curate, my dog, has dropped $3,300. Paramount's dropped, which kind of evens it out with Mosaic. So you can see I'm a little bit down value-wise, but with the dividends, obviously, and Curate had a special dividend that kind of paid out a little bit more. You can see I'm about even right now in the account. So I'm a little reluctant to throw this one out there, but let me know about my stock picks in the comments below. If you have ideas for me, tell me what you think. I don't have that many subscribers, so I'm not worried about getting spammed too much with that request. Finally, I mentioned I would share my goals for my TDAmeritrade account. Truthfully, I don't plan to be all that aggressive buying stocks in 2022, at least not right now. My main strategy is stockpiling cash so I can hopefully take advantage of any sort of economic correction. Obviously, I have no idea if there will be a market correction or not, but I'm just not being super aggressive right now. Plus, I've got other stuff going on, like building this YouTube channel, growing my little media company throughout the year. That's really where I'm planning to get cash. Now, that being said, I wouldn't be at all surprised if I end up buying a few more hundred shares of Viacom, or PARA as it's called now, over the next couple of months if the price continues to go down. In fact, I just literally added another 100 shares last week. If my account is sitting at 50K total by the end of 2020, I'll be completely fine with that as a goal. Do you invest in the stock market too though? What are your goals for this year? I'd love to hear them in the comments section. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. Talk soon.